Hello and welcome. In this video course, we're going to talk about how to use Facebook Messenger to engage with your prospects and customers. So this is video number 1, which is the introduction and getting started. So before we get started, I want to talk about the end goal. You see, Messenger is way bigger than Snapchat, Instagram, and Twitter combined. So you can imagine how powerful you're going to be able to reach your potential customers. Now, it's super easy to get excited and want to jump in without much planning, but don't. By the end of this course, you should have a chatbot mockup created. In other words, you should have all the planning that you need to set things up. And this is a warning to you. Do not attempt to create a bot until you have this in hand. And the reason why we're saying this is simply because once you start jotting down the questions, the yes or no, where should you send them after that, it'll get really confusing. And if you don't have a mock-up and you don't have things organized, then it's going to become very frustrating when it comes to setting things up. So we want to make sure that you have 100% or even close to that success rate. All right. So here's a quick overview of what's inside this video course so you know exactly what to expect. And that way you have a better bird's eye view for yourself of the video course. So this is a 9-part video course. Video number 1 is, of course, this particular video here. Video number 2, we're going to talk about the different uses of chatbots. That way we can get your brain jogging so you have different ideas, different avenues, different pathways that you could potentially go towards. Video number 3, we'll talk about major chatbot mistakes that we have noticed over the years. And even though they might be very simple and common sense, a lot of them are very common mistakes that a lot of people make that can actually impact your conversion rate. Video number 4, we're going to talk about the bot and break things down so you can better understand it. Video number 5, we'll talk about how to increase conversions using a very specific and simple method that we have found. Video number 6, we'll talk about how to brainstorm your chatbot and, of course, organize your ideas in video number 7. And then, of course, we'll talk about how to develop your mock-up, which is very crucial to have before you begin the implementation process. So that's going to be video number 8. And of course, last but not least, video number 9 is the implementation part of it all. So as you can see, creating a chatbot is not hard to do once you find the right service. So we'll talk about different services that are available to you. But the main part of this is really understanding how do you brainstorm, how do you create it, how do you mock it up correctly so that you actually get leads. All right, so that is the majority of this course. All right, so getting started, here's some reality checks and things that you definitely need to have. You definitely need to have a product or service, obviously. You definitely need a Facebook page, and you'll definitely need some money to use to create the chatbot. Most chatbot creation services that we have tested over the years do cost money. And we're going to show you a variety of them so that if you're on a really low budget, then this is something that you can use even if you're just getting started. All right? So with that said, let's move on to video number 2. Hello and welcome back. This is video number 2, and we're going to talk about different uses. So before we jump in to the meat of this video course, it'll really help you know what you can create in terms of different types of chatbots. And I want to go over this because I want to give you different ideas on different ways to use this in your business. You see, there are hundreds or if not thousands of ways, but our goal is to help you pinpoint that general idea and then, of course, make it more specific of what you want to accomplish. For example, big companies are really changing the way that we interact with them via chat bots. And specifically in this case, it's the Facebook Messenger chatbot. But beyond that, they are also using chat bots on their website and so forth. But really, we're focusing just on Facebook Messenger here. But they're doing things like helping customers buy pizza, buy airplane tickets, even hotels. But here's the reality. Realistically, if you're watching this, you're most likely to be a small business owner and you either want to generate leads, you want to use it for customer support, you want to direct people to different areas of your business. So getting it down from a small business owner perspective, getting your prospect to opt in to your email landing page is going to actually be easier than ever. Now, of course, you can do other things like semi-automate your customer service. So if you have a lot of people asking the same questions over and over again, and you want to make it easy for your prospects to get the answers right away, then you can use a Facebook Messenger chatbot to do that. You can also do things like announce special promotions during Christmas, during maybe Hanukkah or Easter or Halloween or whatever, Mother's Day, Father's Day, or discount coupons for a limited amount of time. You can do that as well. So there's a lot of different things that you can do with chatbots. And I just want to give you some ideas, but there are tons of other ideas that I'm not even mentioning right now. So if you think about it and you're thinking, well, I would love for my prospects to be able to interact with my chatbot, and I've noticed that I've gotten a lot of the same exact question, then go for it, test it out. You're not going to know if it's going to work or not unless you test things out. Now, bots are also great for educating or pre-selling your prospects, or in other words, getting trust, because turning someone into a buyer will actually take multiple touch points. Multiple touch points, by that I mean you're going to have to interact with them multiple times. So in other words, you can't send somebody directly to your sales page or ask them to buy unless they are ready to buy. Now, I'm sure you're curious to know how to generate leads and how to automate your customer service. Now, there's actually a process to all of this, and it really requires you to build trust with your prospect first, which we'll talk about later on, a specific method that you can use to do just that. But for now, try and get an idea of what you want to achieve with your bot. And what kind of end result do you want? So what we're doing here is we're starting with the end result and then we're going to move backwards. It's going to make more sense in just a minute where we brainstorm and then we create the mock-up and all that. But starting with the end results and then figuring out what kind of questions that you're going to ask the prospect from that point is going to be much easier than starting with a question and then moving towards the end result. Because by starting with the end result, you actually increase your conversions. So what you really need to figure out is, okay, is the end result going to be a lead, an email, an opt-in, someone's name or email, or is it going to be a sale? Is somebody going to purchase? Are they going to take a specific action? So what is that action or end result that you want? Then from that point, you need to figure out how well do they know you? Are they aware of you? In other words, are they customers? Are they people that already have bought something from you? So they're very aware of you. They know who you are. They are what we call a warm or hot lead. A cold lead, on the other hand, is somebody who has never heard about you and they don't know you. So are they those types of people? Are they unaware of who you are? Or maybe they're a little bit aware, they've heard your name, but they really haven't interacted with you. They don't trust you just yet. So knowing where they stand is crucial. So if you're going to use the chatbot and create a special promotion to existing customers, then these are people who are aware of you, and you can likely send them a link to a discount or a coupon right away. So you see how it changes dependent on how well they are aware of you. So all of these variables are important to know so that you understand how to approach them and what it will take for you to achieve higher conversions. All right, so now that you know the basics, let's move on to video number 3. Hello and welcome back. This is video number 3. We're going to dive in, and this is going to be major chatbot mistakes. So we want to make sure that you start on the right foot. So in this video, we're going to go over common mistakes that can potentially lower your conversion rate. A lot of these are simple and sound like common sense, but they are actually very common mistakes that a lot of people make. So if you make that, don't worry, it's not a big deal. Just remember that these little tweaks can actually help get more leads, get more people to interact with your bots, get more people to solve their questions. So first things first, many people assume that their prospects know how to interact with their chatbot. But the reality is that most people don't know. So you need to give clear, straightforward, and concise instructions. Number 2, not having a mock-up of what all the questions look like. And by this, I mean having the questions that you'll be asking. If yes, where do they go? What kind of questions will they be asked after they answer yes? If they answer no, what will happen? So imagine a tree and you're building it out, and eventually it's going to look very complicated. So if you're going by memorization, it's going to be very difficult, and it's most likely that you're not going to get a good conversion rate. But if you plan it all out, you're able to see everything in front of you. Not only is it going to get better conversions, but in addition to that, you are going to be able to implement it at a faster and more efficient rate. Now, if they say no, what happens? If they don't have a yes or no, what happens? Where do they get sent? So in other words, it'll make your life a lot easier if you map it out first. Number 3, this is going to be very, very simple. It's going to sound like common sense, but it's actually a very common mistake. When you go to Messenger on any bots, you're going to notice there is a logo at the top of that Messenger bot. Now, what we have noticed over the years is a lot of people tend to just upload a logo, and then the logo gets cropped, it doesn't look professional, and guess what? People judge a book by its cover. So they're going to judge you based on how that initial logo looks like. So a lot of times, what Facebook will do is it will turn the picture into a circle. So in other words, imagine a square, and it will show only what's in that circle. So if you have something in the far top left corner, it's going to cut that off. So you need to make sure that your logo or your picture or whatever you're trying to show is smack dab in the middle of that picture. So otherwise, that part of the image will be cut off. It's going to look not professional at all, and people will think that you're not professional. And like I said, people will judge you. There's a saying that, don't judge a book by its cover. But the reality is that people will judge you by your cover. Number 4, going back to the fact that most people don't know how to use your chatbot. Keeping that in mind, constantly in your mind, this is where number 4 comes in. So number 4 will help you get people to interact with your chatbot. You'll increase the number of people that interact. So knowing that, we need to be concise, we need to be straightforward, we need to tell people what they need to do. Typically, when you go to a messenger, specifically a Facebook page messenger bot, You click on it, you're going to see the logo at the top, you're going to see a blurb, and then you're going to see a Get Started blue button. Now, the reality is a lot of people don't even realize that blue button is even there. They look at it, they don't know what to do. And remember, chatbots are new. Maybe it's new in the last few years, but people are still learning to become acquainted with them. So one thing that you definitely want to say is address them by their name. And you can do that by utilizing Facebook's Messenger placeholders. So you can say something like, hey, name. You never want to say, hey, you, or anything like that. You want to make it personal. And by doing that, they will feel like you're friendly. They'll feel a little love. Now, the question is, what do you want your prospect to do? And what do you want to give them in return for interacting with your bot? Now, by give them, I mean, are you giving them knowledge? Are you giving them answers to their questions? Are you giving them something for free? Are you giving them a discount? What are you giving them in return for interacting with your bot? Now, a tip that we found that works really well is by asking questions. So as somebody is staring at your bot and they see a question being asked towards them that is related to what they're interested in, for example, something like, can I teach you how to XYZ? So can I help do this for you? Or can I help you? Can I help answer your questions? How can I help you? Now, you're only going to know this question if you've surveyed your prospects and your customers and figured it out what exactly they want. Now, adding on top of that moves on to number 5. So before they trigger the chat bot or press that Get Started blue button at the very bottom, most people don't know that it's even there. So like I said earlier, you need to be concise. You need to give clear instructions on what to do. So here's what you do. So considering the above, make sure that your initial message shows this. Hi, name. Can I teach you how to XYZ? Click the Get Started button to get started. So as you can see, it sounds very basic, but this is something that you can utilize for yourself. Say hi, name, being personal, ask that question, and then tell them exactly what to do. Click Get Started. So as you can imagine, your next questions should reflect that. You should say, hey, so-and-so, thank you for your interest. And you want to keep it short. So you got to remember that people have a short attention span. So use the phrase above and it will get you off to the right start with your prospect. So with that said, let's move on to video number 4.